lovely people, my name is Emma and today I'm going to be bringing you my TBR for September, and it's actually going to be probably the shortest TBR I've ever filmed on my channel. So life is a little bit chaotic at the moment. Many of you probably won't care about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Basically, Andy and I are moving house. We haven't actually finalised that. We're not too sure exactly when in September it will be, but it's probably going to be sooner rather than later. Everything with my job at the moment is a little bit chaotic and things kind of are just a little bit more limbo-y and difficult and sort of up in the air than I would really like them to be. So at the moment I'm feeling a little bit kind of frazzled, and I'd say my mental health is probably the rockiest it's been since starting my channel. And because of that, when things get difficult and I feel quite overwhelmed, I'm very bad at sticking to TBRs. So rather than create a TBR for you guys that then I don't stick to, what I'm going to do this month is really just let my mood reading flag fly and just read whatever really appeals. Now I have 4 books in particular that I think I am going, like I say, I think I'm definitely going to get to. 2 I'm currently reading for the history challenge that I won't finish by the end of the week, so I'm going to mention them on here, and then another 2 are buddy reads that I have already planned in September that I'm happy to kind of stay with. And then other than that, my reading is just going to be whatever appeals. There are, however, 2 really cool readathons that I wanted to take part in, and I might still try and take part in towards the end of the month if things settle down a bit, and I'm going to be letting you guys know about them in the later half of this video because they're really cool, and I think that more people need to know about them in case you want to take part as well. Just because right now life hasn't lined up in the way that means that I can take part or feel like I have the mental space to kind of dedicate to something like that doesn't mean that I shouldn't give them the shout out that they deserve. So, the 2 buddy read books I have going on. The first one I'm going to be reading is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I'm going to be buddy reading this with an old friend from university who I have on Instagram. Her name's Rochelle, she's really lovely, and she's recently just got a Goodreads and is getting back into reading. So we were chatting about BookTube and the kind of like online book community, and I mentioned about buddy reads and she suggested this book in particular, so I think this can be really interesting. This won the Booker Prize last year. It technically joint won it with Margaret Atwood, but we're going to ignore that completely. And I believe it is 12 different characters of like that all are interconnected, and it's 12 women who are connected in kind of some way, and it's almost like a collection of short stories, but there is a connection between each of them. It's obviously very highly critically acclaimed. A lot of people have read it and said it's amazing, and I'm really excited to both read this but also buddy read it along with Rochelle, because it's not something I'd necessarily immediately pick up, but I have been intrigued since it won the Booker, and so many channels that I know and whose opinions I know align quite closely with my own have said very positive things about this. So I think this is going to be a very fun, interesting buddy read experience, and a fun foray into kind of an almost short story style, which I don't normally read, but I think will be interesting to see. And then the other buddy read I have going on is with Amy from Amy Gets Lit, who has recently come back to BookTube, so I'm going to link her channel down below. She's been doing Friday reads. I love her content. I love her so much. We chat all the time off of BookTube, and we're bringing back some of our buddy reads. We buddy read relatively regularly together, and Amy has suggested Quality Land by Mark Uwe Kling. This is actually a translated fiction. It's translated from German, I believe, and it is kind of a sort of sci-fi dystopian future, which is based off of the idea of algorithms kind of selecting everything in your life, and if you disagree with the algorithm, then you're the one that's wrong because the algorithm is infallible. So I think this can be really interesting. Amy was the one who recommended it and suggested it. She said that she heard the synopsis and immediately thought of me, so I'm really excited, and we often have very good time buddy reading and have really kind of fun discussions around the book, so I'm looking forward to this. I also think the cover is very cool. It's almost like an Amazon package. I think it's very cleverly done, so this is exciting. So those are my 2 buddy reads. The 2 books that I'm currently reading at the moment that I won't get finished. One of them is The Romanovs by Simon Sebag Montefiore. I have now started this book. I'm about 200 pages in, give or take. I've got both the audiobook and the physical book. I've been kind of bouncing between them. This is a non-fiction history book looking at the entire Romanov line, which was the line of rulers for 400 years within Russia. It's very dense, quite dry to be honest, and I'm struggling a little bit with it, but it is over 800 pages, so I never actually intended to finish it in the history challenge anyway, so this is going to be drifting over into September. It's enjoyable, but I do wish that there was a little bit more kind of flavour and colour to it. Like I said, it's a bit dry in places, and there's a just very, very long list of names. And then the other one I have on the go at the moment is The Autumn Throne by Elizabeth Chadwick. It's the final book in her Eleanor of Aquitaine trilogy, which is a historical fiction but based very, very closely on the actual life of Eleanor of Aquitaine, who was one of the queens of England in the like 1100s. I'm really enjoying it. It's excellent fun, but I'm taking it at a much slower pace. I'm really kind of enjoying being able to take my time with it. So again, like I say, I won't be finishing it before the end of August, so it will gently drift over into September. So those are the 4 books that I intend to read. Obviously there'll be more in there, but I really don't want to try and commit to what they're going to be. I actually, for the readathons I'm going to mention, I actually did like a full-blown bullet journal spread for both of them. I worked out a TBR that would work for both, and then I looked at the list of books and was like, I don't want to read any of these right now. And then I like scrapped that and just wrote down like a list of books that I might be interested in for you guys, and then as soon as I'd done it, I looked at them and was like, I don't know if I want to even really read those right now, and I'm just kind of, I need the ability to sort of chop and change my mind for September. So that's the plan. But the 2 readathons that I wanted to mention, because I think they look very cool, is we have Becca's Bookopoly and Monsterathon. Both of them are taking place for the entire month of September, and I will link both the announcement videos down below and the kind of main hosts for them. So Becca's Bookopoly is based off of Becca's TBR game. It's a Monopoly board, but she has changed the prompts to fit for TBRs, and the idea is that you pick the number of rolls you want to do, and you use her board to select your TBR, which is really good fun, looks very cool. I'm very excited about that, so that's awesome. Monsterathon is a kind of spooky monster themed readathon where you have 3 different teams that you kind of pick. I would be a team Beasts, and then the idea is that you have a collection of different prompts, but all of the pages that you read and the challenges that you solve are villages that you've scared, and it's kind of a competitive readathon between the different teams. And that's hosted by Chapter Kate, who is the main host, but then there is a huge collection of other people who are involved hosting in different ways. I think there's like 9 or 10 people involved in that one, so I'm going to link both those down below. If I get a chance, if things settle down towards the end of September, I'm more likely to jump in with Monsterathon, I think, because there's just a little bit more freedom with some of the prompts. So I might try and do that towards the end, but there won't be a TBR for it. It'll just be if I happen to get a chance, and if I feel like I've got the headspace to sort of commit to that. So yeah, so this is sort of a weird TBR video. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that it's kind of, you've got something from it, and obviously I will let you know my thoughts on these 4 books and all the other stuff that I will be reading, whatever that may be. Have a wonderful reading week, and I will chat to you soon. Bye!